everybody. And first things first, well done, all of you. Well done for taking time, coming into this great event and upskilling yourself. Yeah, that's the most important. So thank you all. With that, I'm going to talk about two key topics today, okay? One is how is inclusion and diversity powering innovation? And when I talk about diversity, I'm talking about the whole gamut of diversity, yeah? Culture, society, gender, sexual orientation, different experiences, age. I'm covering the whole aspect and gamut of diversity. And then I'm going to cover how we all as leaders can have some strategies to bring in inclusive innovation in tech. Now, before I introduce myself, if you get to know about who I work for and what do we do, you will be able to relate to some of the examples I'm giving a little more easily. Okay, so we are Tesco. Our core purpose is to serve our customers, community, and the planet a little better every day. And that's what has helped me stay with Tesco for 16 long years, because there's equal focus on not just our customers, but also the community and our planet. And me and my team play a very key role. For example, our net zero ambition by 2050. We care about the planet, and operating supply chain, we need to care about that. And we ensure the nation is well fed. So we are Britain's leading retailer, and we also operate around the globe. So 30% of our UK food supply is through Tesco. Now that you've understood about Tesco, we have a brilliant campus in all green campus in Whitefield. One of the reasons I still go to physically to work. We have 4,000 plus brilliant colleagues and great software professionals who build products to operate Tesco stores across the globe and help our colleagues as well. And good rewards and recognitions as part of Great Place to Work. And also we recently got recognized. Equity was kind enough to recognize us as an inclusive women organization. So with that, a little bit about myself. So me and my team are accountable for operating the supply chain across the globe. All the operations, the development, and the engineering director happen to be women by coincidence. It was not planned like that. We are very passionate about ensuring that we operate our supply chain by building great products, software products, very responsibly for the planet. So when I started, when I was in the mid-manager level, somebody asked me to lead women in tech, okay? And I said, no, I'm not interested. And they asked me why. And I said, yeah, women are very capable. I don't think we need help. So I don't think we should be running all this women in tech and supporting it. And they said, Priya, why don't you try? And only then when I started, I then got various experiences, learned about a little bit of how and what women go through, and that was my starting point. Currently, I am the lead for diversity and inclusion across Bangalore, and I'm very passionate about women in tech, our LGBTQ plus community, and helping our disabled colleagues. So, as I said, there's a broad gamut of diversity, but these three are very, very close to my heart. So let's get into, okay. A little bit of a brain teaser. What do you think is common with all these innovations? This was an Insta feed. Some of you would have seen it. What do you think is common with all of these? Brilliant, yeah? So, sorry. Let me see. Does it work? All right, okay, yeah. So all of these, hundreds of years back, yeah, at different time zones, were all invented by women. I was very tempted to put up an Agni 5 or Agni 3 and 4, and I know you all will guess, oh, Tessie Thomas, it's a woman, so I thought I'll. So innovation is in our blood, right? Irrespective of gender, where we are from, it's in our blood. So Tesco partnered with an organization it's a professional organization. We partnered with them. We called it the Great Diversity Experiment a few years back. We brought in 140 different professionals from all over the globe, okay? And we divided them into teams of 20, and we asked them to solve one key problem. The problem was how to reduce food shortages at home. And these professionals were studying how the diverse groups were all interacting with each other. And they found something very interesting, which is common sense, but still, at the end of the exercise on solving that problem, they found that when you have a diverse set of people who are working together, new connections are formed because what's my experience is not yours. So we challenge each other's experience and we stretch our ideas. And what happens? Creative new ideas come up. That's point number one. Point number two, it is not the most dominant cultural voice that gets selected, right? It is meritocracy. Whichever is the right idea, that gets selected. And then when you see a lot of people who are very different, you bring in your authentic self to work. When you bring in your authentic self to work, you're more happier, and therefore, you get more creative. See, whether we like it or not, the world is changing. It is completely evolving. So as companies, we need to either evolve or perish. And in order to evolve, innovation is key, and it is diversity and inclusion that will fuel that. So diversity is the new Darwinism, and we all know that, need to understand that, and then move forward. All right, so when it comes to design thinking, which is a very key aspect of innovation, we need to ensure a lot of diverse opinions, views. The team itself is diverse, right, when we are doing that innovation and design thinking. So at Tesco, we do ensure that, but we also bring in our customers who interact with our checkouts. You know, you buy a lot of products, and we have the self-service checkouts where you can scan the products on your own. You don't need a checkout assistant. So we bring in diverse set of customers as well to offer their views. So this gentleman whom you see here, his name is Ziad. He has visual impairment. He had vision at some stage in his life. He no longer has. And like him, we bring few more of our customers into our design thinking process to see what could we do better. And he gave us a lot of feedback on how our tills could help him while he is shopping. And then once he was checking out some of the shopping he had done, and we had asked him, okay, so how did you feel? Okay, I would just like to play it for you. That's okay.
Somebody else have a question?
And do you feel your level of confidence is growing?
Completely, on every transaction.
Okay. That's good to hear.
I genuinely feel that I think I can continue independently and do this without anyone's help.
Okay. And what is it? How could, if you can describe why you're feeling that? Is there something? I don't mean sort of that necessarily going.
Sorry, I don't think that was very audible. I hope the next video is. So basically, towards the end of this video, that gentleman who was visually impaired had a brilliant smile. And that's all matters, right? If our customers could be happy when they are shopping with us, and if we as companies are able to give that inclusive experience for them, by taking in their inputs, by being more inclusive, that's all matters. So this is, again, one of the teams were working on the website refinement, and they had a lady with dyslexia, okay? And this lady then pointed out how difficult it was to interact, yeah? For them, the brighter backgrounds make a difference, the font color makes a difference, the size of your font makes a difference. Now the websites, I'm sure most of our companies are being defined with accessible options, but to give those inputs, you need those diverse set of people in your teams. If you're not representative of the community you live in, let's say, or around the world, 49.7% of women, 16% have physical disabilities. We need to ask ourselves, does our company represent that? And only if it represents that, we are going to be able to give good experiences for our customers, isn't it? All right, women and data science, again, a passionate topic. Again, I'm going to give you an example. My team predicts what our customers will shop with us, yeah, for the future, for the next 1 year. So we were doing a model on promotion forecasting. It was all on AI, ML, working on big data. And the accuracy was not as good as we expected it to be. But due to various different reasons, we had to shuffle the team a little, not because we couldn't get the accuracy. And it so happened that the team that was now formed was a very diverse team. Yeah, more women, culturally different backgrounds as well. And within a month of that team taking over, they immediately pointed out, well, your data is biased. History does help predict the future, but if the data itself is biased, it's not necessarily representative, right? And they gave me a couple of new features to include, and the accuracy shot up. Like this, we can go on with examples of how having a diverse and inclusive team and practices will help innovation. See, you all know this, especially for the technology industry, innovation is the lifeblood, and inclusion and diversity are the driving forces. Some data to prove this fact. These are available on the net. You can go take a look at this. This is Boston Consulting Group. Okay, the page hasn't come out well, but what they did was they interviewed around 1,700 companies across the globe from different countries, and they measured what is the revenue that is produced by innovation. You know, innovative products you roll out to the world, and what's the revenue that's coming from it over a 3-year period. And they found that companies with a more diverse set of parameters were able to bring in more innovation revenue. It's just not the right thing to do for our society, but it's also about revenue, isn't it? So again, great place to work. Again, there is some correlation to proving that it's higher revenue, but it's about people, because it is the people who bring in unconventional ideas. The best decisions are made, not the regular conventional ideas go forward. Even when it comes to execution, when you have a diverse team, the execution gets even more better. These are available on the net. You can just search for a great place to work, and then you would get some of the lovely data. I love this picture, right? Because it is just not about diversity and inclusion. It is also about equity. Yeah? I am not talking about, oh, we need to create reservations, etc., but are we looking for more colleagues with different backgrounds? Are we giving them a slightly elevated platform? We need not lower the bar, but we could do different things to make sure we are looking for more and giving them an elevated platform. Yeah, Priya, I hear all that. You're saying 49% women, but women in STEM is what? 26%, right? It's hard. All this is good to hear. I also know it needs to be diverse and inclusive. So what do we do? Yeah, it's hard. Somebody has a solution, okay? Let's listen into it. I hope the audio plays. This is a nice one. Let's see.
We go from talking about diversity to actually making it happen. This is something I've been thinking about for a while. And earlier this year, I had a kind of light bulb moment, and I came up with a brilliant solution. So I got a team together, and we started working on building this new service. And a service that would really just change the diversity debate and really solve the diversity problem for once and for all. So, what is this revolutionary new service? Well, it's called Rent a Minority. I like to think of it as an Uber for diversity. Because the thing is, diversity is difficult.
Sorry, I hope you got the joke, yeah? You cannot solve a problem by going and renting a minority. That will not work. In fact, any artificial solutions you put in will actually make it worse. But there's some good news. The good news is all of us can do something about it, right? I'm going to just show it to you with an example. So, we all know Smriti Irani, yeah? And you would have read this somewhere. She was given a list of IIT senior scientists, and she was asked to nominate 2 of them from that into the IIT Leadership Council. She looked at the list, and it was all men, and she was wondering, hey, why is this all men? The answer came back probably that there are no leading women scientists. She thought for a moment, and she called Tessie Thomas, and she just asked her to be part of the IIT Council of Leadership. That's all we need to do. We just need to look harder. Of course, there are some more strategies I'll talk about. See, if you are in a room, if you are in a company, and if you look around and if you see the same kind of people, please talk about it, raise it up. You don't want to be in a company like that. And that's how we all can contribute and make a difference. So few strategies to help based on my experience. I'm sure this room has more ideas as well, but a few from me. One, lead and role model inclusion, please, and all of us can do it, especially senior leaders. Embed inclusion in everything we do, but listen, see whether it's working, learn, and please act. When it comes to our senior leaders, we need to ask ourselves and our senior leaders, are they leading and role modeling inclusion? Is it their strategic priority? Do they have it in their goals? Is your CEO and senior leadership team talking about it a lot more visibly? Only then the image will and the message will reach, right? Build awareness. We'll have to do a lot more training. While many know about diversity, the whole concept of inclusion and equity, people are still getting to know. So a lot of training, especially for the managers population, is still needed. Set bold ambitions. For example, we did have 3 main ambitions. One is around, of course, what's our women representation. The second is around what's our representation of disabled colleagues. And the third is around our black population. So we need to have goals. Unless you have goals, and of course, you should be able to have plans and to measure how do you get there. Sponsorship versus mentorship, right? Again, I've gone through a journey. I was very comfortable with mentorship, and I was even mentoring women outside the organization. But when it came to sponsorship, I was not initially comfortable. But when I started doing it, and then when I started raising and pitching for a very diverse set of candidates, the bar is still not lowered, the bar is the same, just that we are exposing them to different opportunities. It did makes a difference. So get to know what your plans are and lay out plans to make it happen. Hiring, I'm sure the session covered it yesterday. Please do look to see if we are sourcing more diverse profiles. Are we sourcing more women? Are we sourcing more disabled colleagues? Are our job descriptions gender neutral? Look at whether you have a diverse set of opinions in the room. Understand what good looks like. For example, we thought, okay, we have done everything needed in our campus and in our workplace for disabled colleagues. But then we looked at a diversity equity. There was a proper certification in UK. And that told us what good looks like. And then we were able to make some changes. So please do understand what good looks like and then change what you will have to do in order to accommodate that. How are your company policies, right? Look at that hardly, please. What about creche support? What about support for fertility treatment? Are our men getting paternity leave and benefits related to it? Men also need to be, they're also child carers, right? Same gender support. Are our insurance policies supporting or giving a higher coverage for our disabled colleagues? A whole gamut of things we could be asking under company policies. Fair employment practices, especially equal pay, and your company having anti-discriminative policies. Yeah, those two are really key. And the most important, what has helped me through all my journey and my career are male allies. Please use that network. Bring in your male allies. Take their support. There are many of my friends and male colleagues who saw more potential in me than what I saw in myself. So that is a very important area of support that you should be setting up in your own companies as well. And as I said, please take feedback. So we roll out a survey every year, twice a year in fact, to our employees to understand, hey, is Tesco a great place to work? Does your manager make everybody in the team feel welcome? Are you able to bring yourself back to work without a fear of judgment? Are you able to be yourself? And every year, we measure ourselves to see whatever we are doing, is it increasing the score on those, right? Some of those would really help. I've already spoken about build colleague networks. We have Women in Tech, we have the IDC Council. We have several help groups within our own organization who can help our colleagues. And last but not the least, there should be a lot of focus on well-being and building psychological safety. Yeah? We've lost the game if we bring in a diverse set of people and if we are not fostering psychological safety within our organization. So that should be a key focus as well. All right. This is a bit of, I've spoken to most of this, but I just wanted to show you what Tesco is doing. And yeah, concluding to say that innovation is key for tech, and diversity and inclusion are its driving forces. So we'll need to focus a lot of that. I've offered some of what I knew, and I'm sure there are more ideas across the room. So with that, thank you. If you have a couple of questions, be happy to answer.